Hi, I'm Mishti Max and I'm here to share the makeup I wore to the Weird Al gig. I decided to do something wacky and different, so I came up with a two-toned eye look to fit the zany music. So with this tutorial, you basically get two colourful smoky eyes with a bit of sparkle all rolled into one. To start, I primed both my eyes with Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Next, for my brow bone highlight, I used the eyeshadow strain from the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and I applied that to both eyes with the Sigma E39 Buff and Blend brush. This is a good step to keep consistent for both eyes. I'm getting out two fluffy blending brushes that are equivalent, so I can go in with two different transition shades. I went into this light yellow eyeshadow from the Sedona Lace Matte 88 palette and applied it with the Sedona Lace EB09 brush. To get more pigmentation, I mixed this brighter yellow with the lighter one, and even went back into just the brighter yellow on its own. I must say the yellows aren't that pigmented. And for the pink side, I chose this light pink and applied it through my socket with the Sigma E25 blending brush. And since the pink shade is more pigmented than the yellow, I made sure to buff it into the skin well. Then I'm getting out my Sugar Pill eyeshadow palettes for my crease shades, and I've got these two bright shadows. I'm going for Butter Cupcake from Sugar Pill for my crease shade and applying that with the same Sedona Lace blending brush after I wiped it off. Since yellow is weaker than hot pink, I had to go in a few more times with this shadow. You could also go in with a denser blending brush as well. And the hot pink eyeshadow I'm using is Dolly Pop, also from Sugar Pill, and I used the Sigma Fluffy Blending Brush to take that lightly through my crease, all the way from outer corner to inner corner, and making sure to match that up on both sides with the shape. I carefully blended out the top edge of the crease on the pink side and strengthened up the yellow shade to match the intensity on the other side. Keep an eye on which brush you're using on each eye so you don't contaminate the color to keep each crease pure. I decided to take these crease shadows onto the outer corner of my eyes, and I blended across the lash line as well, adding more Butter Cupcake and Dolly Pop eyeshadow. Then back to the Sugar Pill Burning Heart palette, but this time I had designs on the red shade Love Plus, and I used the Sigma E47 shader crease brush to deepen up the outer edge of the crease. I added most of the product along the lash line and the deep crease, but also took a little bit towards the inner crease and blended that out well. I wiped off this small pointed crease brush and picked up the eyeshadow Flame Point to replicate the same effect on the yellow eye. I made sure not to apply too much orange since the yellow is a lighter hue, so I also applied more Butter Cupcake with the fluffy blending brush over the top of that. The yellow eye took more work than the pink one because yellow is usually a harder color to work with. After I had finished working on the crease, I brightened up the brow bones with more strange eyeshadow. This also allows you to buff out the edges even better by overlapping the eyeshadows. Now I have a white creamy base in the form of NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, but I'm going to apply that from my stubby old pencil with my finger to one eye at a time, smoothing out the product over my entire mobile lid. And here are the two pigments I will be using. Love Buzz is the neon pink and High Vis is the neon yellow. I have both my eyeshadow brushes ready and they're a little fluffy and fairly dense. But before the pigments, I need an extra sticky base, so I'm using Faraday Pixie Epoxy and dabbing that on with my fingertip just up to the crease, and then I'm pressing the Love Buzz pigment all over my lid with the Urban Decay Electric Palette brush. Make sure you press the pigment on and don't swipe, otherwise you'll knock off the sparkles and not get as good pigmentation in general, plus it makes extra fallout. The sticky base is meant to hold on more of the sparkle in these two pigments, but the pink is more stubborn than the yellow. I began to smooth out the edge of the pigment with the tip of the eyeshadow brush, and then I moved on to the fluffy blending brush. Then onto the other side, I started with Milk Pencil, and this lets you clean up your lid space if you got any of the shadows onto it while blending, and you can coax the lid into a nice round shape. And I layered on the sticky base before going in with the neon yellow High Vis pigment on the Sigma E57 Firm Shader brush. Now I have the Sleek Acid palette and this tiny Sigma E36 blending brush, and I'm going into the neon pink eyeshadow to merge the pink pigment into the crease, and also using the larger fluffy blending brush so everything behaves well. I thoroughly wiped off that brush and then went back into the neon yellow shade of the Acid palette and blended out the yellow eye. Even though this eyeshadow is pretty chalky, it worked fairly well and complemented the other shades. The glitter in the pink pigment didn't stick very well, so I topped it up with some more sticky base underneath. And the neon pink was also stubborn in the crease, so I worked on it a bit more. Then I used some makeup remover on a cotton bud to clean up any product from my tear duct and under eye area to prepare for NYX Cottage Cheese, which I loathed to put on my face, yet it looks so nice and is a great shimmery cream base for any tear duct highlight. I've chosen these two, which are both beautiful shimmery shadows. For the pink side, it is a Makeup Geek foiled shadow in Whimsical, and I'm applying it with an E30 pencil brush from Sigma. I also took it up to the inner crease, blending it upwards, and also over onto the inner part of the lid. Next I have the MAC eyeshadow in Nylon, and I packed this golden highlight in the same manner on the other side after I wiped off the pencil brush. I took both shades along the inner third of the lower lash line and blended them out. I picked up my Inglot Matte Gel Eyeliner in number 76 and used a pointed cotton bud to apply it to both my waterlines to give a wide-eyed appearance. To remove the excess and smooth out the product, I ran a cotton bud along my lashes. I went back to the brand new Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil to add a creamy base to my lower lash line, applying a thick amount of that, and to soften the edge, I rubbed another cotton bud along the bottom to help with blending. On the pink side, I went for the Dolly Pop shadow and pressed it into the outer half of my lash line with the eyeshadow brush and joined that up to my upper lid. I made sure to fade that out well using the blending brushes. And for the yellow side, I used Butter Cupcake and the Firm Shader brush to press that primary yellow shade over the white base. I used a touch of Flame Point Orange to add depth to the outer corner, and then used the red eyeshadow Love Plus to add definition on the pink side. I got out the pigment adhesive again and applied it to the remainder of my lower lid with a cotton bud on both sides, and then went back to the High Vis pigment and pressed it over the top with the tip of my eyeshadow brush, and did the same with the Love Buzz shade. I blended the highlight shades across over the neon colors so it looked cohesive. I took the Physicians Formula eyeliner pen to create a thick winged eyeliner to ground the look and give another element of similarity to both eyes. I also created more depth on the outer corner of the lower lash line because the eyeliner changed the contrast of the eye look. And I darkened the crease with some Love Plus eyeshadow on the pink side and Flame Point on the yellow side as well. I applied mascara using CoverGirl on the top and the MAC one on the bottom. Then I added a pair of Ardell Demi Wispies false lashes to give more definition to the eyes and add another neutral element. Since the sparkle in the pigment didn't hold, I added this eye candy glitter in Cotton Candy lightly over the center of the lid. I did my usual brows and regular face routine. And if you're wondering the perfect music to listen to before a Weird Al show, well, it's Frank Zappa, because he gets you in the mood for some wackiness. After concealer, I pulled out an old one, this liquid highlighter, High Beam by Benefit, and I applied it with my Real Technique sponge on the high points of my cheekbones, blending it into my foundation. Then, to my recent obsession, I whipped out my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit palette to take diffused light on the Real Technique setting brush and set my concealer and around to the central portion of my face. I wanted to keep the skin natural and fresh, so I'm being light-handed with it and not dusting it all over. Then I used iridescent light on my Hakuhodo S113 highlight brush to set the liquid highlighter and add some more glistening shine on my Cupid's bow. For a warm pinky blush, I used Luminous Flush from the Lighting Edit palette, buffing that over the apples of my cheeks to my hairline. And to finish off the skin, I used my brow wax to bring my beauty spot back to life and patted that in. This also works for freckles if you have them or want them. I blended the eyeshadow into my face makeup for a finishing touch. And lastly, for the face, I attempted to set my makeup with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, but as it ran out, I went for MAC Fix Plus instead. Then for lips, I wasn't sure what to do. I could go for a pink lipstick, but that gives unevenness to the yellow eye. I thought a coral could work, being in between the two colors, but everything I tried seemed to pull focus to the pink eye, or being a neutral color, not feel dramatic enough. After some lip decisions, I primed my lips with MAC Prep and Prime Base. Next, I lined my lips with the MAC pencil in Candy Yum Yum, giving some shape and a light outline, and then dragging in some of that color towards the center of the lips. I used the Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk to add a white base to the center of my lips, and I blended that into the pink pencil by pressing my lips together, and also adding a bit more pink around the edge to clean up the lines. I have this Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics lip tar in Nylon, and with a Japanesque brush, I'm applying that over the pink pencil and giving it a bit of a blend using my lips. Now I have another OCC lip tar in Traffic, and I'm dabbing on that product with my finger to cover the white base, and blending the edges slightly using some chewing the cud action to get a dramatic gradient. For an added flair, I grabbed a bit of the neon yellow pigment on my finger to really make the lips match both eyes. I found that pressing my lips together just mixed the pigment into the lip tar, and it was better just laying it down on top. Then I released the lugs and changed into a neon tie-dyed top, and took one last look at my makeup, and decided to darken up the yellow eye by adding more orange at the outer corner so it would match the depth of the pink side, and I added a bit more primary yellow to keep it bright as well. Then all that was left was a bit more hair fluffing to get some wild, crazy and big hair, and I'm ready to go. This was a really fun makeup to wear, and I liked each eye look individually as well as slapped together in this nutty look. I was hanging out to create a two-toned eye look since I saw Jay Kiss's tutorial about 6 months ago, and I think this occasion was a perfect time to pull it out. I chose these two bright neon shades and tried to match the depth, but honestly I think the pink I used has more saturation than the yellow, so they weren't perfectly equivalent. But in the end result it doesn't matter, because looking a little googly-eyed is fine when you want to look super weird. You can use these techniques to create any coloured smoky eye you like. Just pick a shadow with the same texture and depth of colour and you will get a similar result. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this super bright and interesting makeup tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Also check out my band and podcast on iTunes.
Are you ready to polka? We fought, we chained our hearts in vain, just never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell of love, no one could deny. Don't you ever say I just we're down on the floor. We're already packed in like sardines, but we're not gonna pick out more. Look out! Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. Another comes on, another comes on. Another one rides the bus. Hey, we're gonna sit by you. Another one rides the bus. For Peter Parker was pitiful, couldn't have been any shyer. Mary Jane still wouldn't notice him, even if his hair was on fire. La la la, lady la, la la, lady la, la la. Sing us a web, you're the Spider-Man. Sing us a web tonight. 'Cause we're all in the mood for a hero now, and we think that you'll do all right. Valley where I harvest my grain and take a look at my wife and realize she's very plain, but that's just perfect for an Amish like me. You know I shouldn't fancy things like electricity. At 4:30 in the morning I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows. Fool, and I've been milking plowing so long that even Ezekiel thinks that my mind is gone. I'm a man of the land, I'm into discipline. Got a Bible in my hand and a beer on my chin. But if I finish all of my chores and you finish thine, then tonight we're gonna party like it's 1699.